Hey, what's up, beat hackers? So, if you get one of my DJ courses, you get instant lifetime access to a private DJ community. Now, that community over the last 2 years has grown to over 2,000 people, and it's a really awesome place to go post your mixes, get noticed, get in touch with other DJs, and best of all, ask questions to the community. Now, a couple of days ago, someone jumped on and posted a clip of DJ Easy doing this cool little set in Ibiza, and he wanted to know exactly how DJ Easy went about doing it. So this is the clip, and this is what we're going to learn how to do in this week's video. Okay guys, so let's get straight into it. So the two songs and the two things you have to go and get before you try this is the initial track, which has got to get through this, and I've got the DND radio edit here. And you want to get the acapella from Freed From Desire, okay? And acapella is just the vocal without the instruments in the background. I went to a website called Acapellas For You here, where I went and downloaded it from. You guys can go and look into that in your own time, so that's where I got the acapella from. Drop them both in. Now, as far as I see it, there's two parts to this video. The first part is at the beginning where he plays one bit of the song and then he jumps back and he goes back and forth before he brings in the actual track. Now, if you watch the video, there's a lot of him using these sliders here. Now, the only way he could possibly be using these sliders is if he has the track on loop. So, for example, if we go to the bit where he's got the snare, then he's got this bit of the song from Free From Desire, this bit. The only way he could possibly be using the phases to do this is looping them. So, let's get the first track on loop here and show you what I'm talking about. So, if we have this looping, it sounds a bit like this. Now, I could get rid of all the other instruments by just bringing up the slider for when the snare hits, like this. Okay? Now, on the other side, in order to have that na-na-na-na playing constantly, we'd have to get a really tight loop going on. So, I've just looped this little section here, and if I press play, you'll hear it just goes na-na-na-na constantly. Which means if I bring the volume all the way down, I can just bring it in whenever I want. Now, the other thing which I do want to point out is I've also added a little bit of reverb in here as well, just to add, it sounds a bit, it kind of glues the sound a bit more when you've got a bit of reverb. It doesn't sound so clean. Have a listen with and without, okay? It's got that slight bit of reverb and it doesn't sound so like static, so to speak. It sounds like glues it in a bit better. So now I've got this sound here. And I've got, if I play this loop, the snare over here. So at the beginning of the video, you see him going back and forth between the two. This would just be practice and just timing and practicing getting the two correct. So have a quick watch of this. So that's how you would do it if you wanted to use your sliders. But as far as I see it, there's a way easier way to do this, and it's just to use hot cues. So I've got one hot cue lined up for the snare here, and I've got one hot cue over here for the nana. And then you can just go back and forth. It's way easier than trying to get it right with the sliders. As far as I'm concerned, just hot cue it. Really, really easy. Now, that's part A. Now, the second bit he does is he starts to kind of play along with the track when it's playing. So we'll start off by doing that. And the next thing you can do, whether you're using hot cues or whether you've got a loop on, is you set another hot cue at the beginning of the song so it would come in like this. Okay, now I'm just going to go back and I'm going to put a loop on this track here, as long as loop I can. And I'm going to come over and I'm going to first show you how you would do what he did with the slider, which is introducing this bit of a rhythm. This is exactly the same thing I taught in a couple of weeks ago in a James Hype video, where basically you're adding a bit of a rhythm from track B into track A using the slider, okay? Now, the only real advice I can give you here is you just have to practice this. It's not easy. You've got to get good at just like being really rhythmical. Now, if I was to give you one bit of advice, practice just hitting the slider against the top and you'll hear that snap sound with nothing playing. And you want to just get good at just practicing hitting rhythms like that. That's a really good way to practice this technique, because as soon as you add that sound in and you've got that technique of slamming it against the top, the two will glue together perfectly. Have a listen. Just like that. So now you know how to do that. You can basically add whatever rhythm you want into the track. Now what he tends to do in the video is he plays the Nana sample in time with the bass line of the first track and then becomes more rhythmical with it. But at this point, guys, the playing field's open for you to do whatever the hell you want to do. So let's have a bit of a play around and see what we can do here. So that's one way you can do it. However, once again, I just think it's better to use a cue button. So you can just get a cue button here. Let's take the auto cue off and you can just play this. Or you can hit the actual cue button, which sometimes is quite nice, so it's a bit snappier than the pads. And you just do exactly the same thing. This is the way I would choose to do it, because I find it easier to hit a button than to slide the slider. So let me show you exactly what it would look like. And then guys, you can just play around whatever rhythms you want. Sometimes it's nice to play to the bass line. Sometimes it's nice to play on the drum. Sometimes it's nice to play off the drum. So bass line would be this. On beat would be this. If you wanted to play off beat, it would be this. And sometimes it's nice to add a bit of off beat in with a rhythm, so you don't just come in on beat, you come in off beat, so it sounds a little bit like this. So guys, it's totally up to you to do whatever you want there. You can use the sliders with it on loop. I would be more of a fan of using the hot cues, but it's completely up to you. Now there is one last thing I did want to tell you about, which is kind of like a really advanced DJ technique, which I personally would never do live, but I'm going to show you it anyway. If you take key lock off, if you make a sound with a sample or whatever, and you move the tempo up or down, with the key lock off, the key of the song will change. So, for example, but that's quite subtle. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put it up to 16 by hitting shift and key lock over here, and as you'll see, it goes to plus 16. Now watch how much of a difference it makes. Now, if you really wanted to be a smart ass, you could actually pitch this up and down to the bass that's playing over here. This is a really advanced technique, and it just comes down to practice. So I'm going to go right to the beginning of the track here, and I'm going to make the loop shorter, so we've just got the bass line looping. And I'm going to practice here, well, not practice, I'm going to show you how I would pitch it up and down to the bass line. So check it out. So there you go guys, there's an interesting little technique there. It's really difficult, it takes a lot of practice, it's not something I would personally do live, but hopefully me just telling you about these cool techniques, you can run with them, you can introduce them into your DJ sets if you want to. It's a really cool way that rather than just like chopping up a melody, you could take one note or one sample that has a tone in it and pitch it up and down. It's a really cool technique, it's definitely an advanced one. It's not one I would personally do live because I wouldn't have the confidence to do that live, but definitely something you could start to introduce into your DJ sets if you wanted to. So guys, that's it, a pretty short and snappy DJ tutorial this week. If you are interested in getting 10 times better at DJing, make sure you go to beginnerdjlessons.com where I've currently got some free training. If you click underneath this video, there's a link, it'll take you straight to it. Also, if you're more interested in that kind of creative side of things and you want to start doing your own remixes, mashups, or even potentially making your own tracks from scratch, even if you've never opened up music production software before, even if you don't play an instrument, I'm currently doing some free live training Underneath this video, there's a link to edmcoaching.com. Go and register your spot now for that free live training. Finally, guys, if you liked the video and you learned something new, make sure you give the video a like. Leave a comment. Tell me what you thought about the video. Tell me if there's any other techniques you'd like me to decode for you, and I'll make a video about it. I love hearing you guys, so make sure you go and leave a comment. Finally, if you like the way I teach and you want to see more videos just like this, make sure you hit that button there and hit the bell notification so you get told about future videos. Hit that button down there if you want to go and watch that free live DJ training right now. And hit the button below if you want to see how to DJ like Carl Cox. I'll see you guys in next week's video. Ciao!